Sad news, Steven. Sad news in the toy world, the video game world, the retail world. Ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence for Toys R Us.
Okay. Moment over.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's kind of sad. Toys R Us announced that they're going to be selling or closing their 735 remaining stores. And, I mean, yeah, it's like, it's just like, you know, there's so much moving towards, like, you know, shipping stuff, online stuff. I mean, right, that's the cause of this.
Amazon is killing it.
Yeah, like, and malls, like, honestly, malls are going to be out soon too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of sad. And so I thought we could take a moment to reminisce on some of our most beloved Toys R Us moments. Mine being my only memory, actually, because I'm trying to think. I have one memory, actually, of going to Toys R Us as a kid. I hardly ever went there. Like, whenever I needed Legos or whatever,
right, it
would be Walmart or Target. Because in my area, there's not really one. There wasn't really one that close. So the memory that came to mind when I saw this, when I think Toys R Us, I think you picking me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, so we can go stand. So we stood in line at Toys R Us to get the NES. And then we were just like having conversations with people, and I was playing the original Kirby.
The NES Classic.
Yeah, the NES Classic. This, to be clear, obviously, I couldn't have been around for the original. And yeah, it was so fun. Like, and it was like raining and stuff. It was, I don't know, it's one of those experiences where it's like, it's not like it's fun, but it's like, it's fun because it's exciting and you're like...
And you got a story out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, and they like gave out the tickets and you got a ticket and you were the last one to get the ticket to receive the NES Classic. And so we were like, yes, we're both going to get it. And you were still kind of hesitant. I guess I kind of was too. We were kind of like, who knows? And someone in the front changed their mind, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, we told the story on it, but it basically boiled down to... there was the NES Classic and another toy coming out that day, and they basically said, it was, are you getting both, or are you just getting one of them? Hatchimals, yeah. And I don't even know if those are still around, but apparently someone who said that they were only going to get a Hatchimals in front of us changed their mind and said, no, I'm going to go ahead and get both.
Yeah, and they said you can't, but...
Yeah.
And so then it was so sad. I felt so bad for you. Like, we got them, and it turned out I was the... No, what it was, you didn't get a ticket. They counted. Yeah, that's
right,
what
they
it was.
just counted, and then when they gave out tickets later, you got one and I didn't.
I got the last one. You were just like... And I was like, but like I was so happy and I was so disappointed at the same time. I was like,
I still got one a few weeks later, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a disappointment, but
at least someone got something out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have, if it was you, I wouldn't have cared. Like, I would have been like, that's good too. Like, and so we went in there, got the NES, and then I remember we like ate breakfast at McDonald's until church. It was just fun. And so that's my memory. I was wondering if you had a memory that's not that, maybe from a long time ago.
Well, it wasn't just Toys R Us that I remember growing up with. I also grew up with another toy store called KB Toys that...
Yes, that was in Hickory Hollow Mall.
Yes.
Before it
closed down.
It became what it is today.
Right, like the fate of all malls. But yeah, I also grew up... I didn't just grow up here in Tennessee. I've grown up in New York, Tennessee, and Florida.
Yeah.
And sorry, my nose is itchy. And especially when I was younger and I grew up in New York, I went to KB more than I went to Toys R Us. But then when I moved here, there was actually Toys R Us that was kind of in the same location. So every now and then, my dad would take me into one of them. It would just be while we were out, maybe running errands, or I was, he was working and I happened to go with him that day. And sometimes at the end of the day, he would just randomly pull into Toys R Us, and he would give me enough time to look around and what are you going to do when you're a kid in the toy store? You're going to pick out at least one thing that you want and ask your parent if you can have it.
Yeah.
So he would wait for me to do that, and sometimes he would say yes, and sometimes he would say no. So there were times that he would actually bring me into a toy store just so that I could pick something out, and he would say no to it. But other times he would say yes.
Why?
The reason why he did that was to teach me the lesson of number one, delayed gratification,
Mm-hmm.
and also just teaching me you don't always get what you want. So that lesson has stuck with me throughout my life. It's enabled me to say, hey, sometimes I need to say no to myself for something. So Toys R Us was very much a part of that experience that I went through when I was a kid. Plus, I used to love, I think right before the first Transformers movie came out, over 10 years ago now, I went out and I collected all of the Transformers from that movie. Like the toys of them and just collected them.
You still have them?
I still have them.
I want to see them, dude.
They're buried, but I can
Buried
dig
where?
them.
Back there?
No, I think they're in my other closet. But yeah, they're neat. Optimus Prime is way too complicated to transform.
I used to have an Optimus Prime. I wonder if it was the same one.
It's from the movie. It's the one from
I
the
had one
first
from
movie.
From the movie, and he was really cool.
So they were cool.
Dude,
but
I used to have so many Transformers toys.
I think Bumblebee was like the first one that I got.
I used to have Bumblebee too, dude. It might be the same one. We gotta look at that after this.
But yeah,
they're
cool. They're cool. But those are kind of the two main things. I always remember though their video game section used to be was always a mess. I would always go in there just to see what they had, and there would be cases just like it almost looked like a kid went in there and just like ran their hand down and like pushed a whole bunch of them out of order, and like there'd be some on the floor. There would be imagine like a very disorganized Best Buy video game section.
Yeah,
that's how it looked. But I think when it comes to this closing, we had actually said here on the podcast that a lot of the stores were closing. I want to say earlier this year they said that they had planned 180 store closures. Then in February that grew to 380.
Yeah.
And now they're going to close all 700 something stores. And this after they filed for bankruptcy and were trying to get reorganized, and it just didn't work. So something like, I want to say it's estimated that 33,000 people will lose their jobs. So
that stinks too.
That's not cool. But I mean, I would kind of like to talk about how Toys R Us and toy stores just by themselves really aren't viable these days, because you do have places like Target and Walmart. Even though they're brick and mortar, they also have a very competitive online presence as well, and that they've noticed Amazon really is like the leader, and if they don't compete directly with Amazon, they're going to go out of business. I don't see how Toys R Us even lasted this long just selling toys.
They didn't have online? No, they did.
They did have online, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, no one went to ToysRUs.com. I did. It's funny, actually, my current 3DS that I have, I did get through ToysRUs.com because they had it on sale.
Oh.
So there was that, but that's the only thing I've ever bought online from them. And I still had to go to a store to pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's like I still prefer to go into a store, like, rather than go online if they have it there. Because like I've got a Walmart so close to my house, and a grocery store so close to my house. Like, I'll just go there when I'm on my way back or to somewhere. Like, it's so easy. I don't know. To me, it's just faster. Like,
well, I mean,
because you know more what you're getting. I like to, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned.
Well, and it kind of does play into the whole, instant gratification thing where, you want something, you go out and you go get it, you have it that day.
Yeah.
Whereas, Amazon and other shipping places can't give you that. But on the offset, people would rather spend a few dollars less if it means they're going to get it a couple of days from now instead of today.
Yeah.
So that's that's all it takes to be that much more competitive and win.
Yeah.
In today's retail business. So, yes, our hats off to you, Toys R Us.
Rest in peace.
Thank you for the memories.